Happy New Year, folks. Another edition of Taking the Mikel. John will be Mikel. Chris McHardy back with you. Start of a brand new year, Johnny. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend.
2025 brings with it new hope, new optimism. We'll get into all of that.
Yep.
But first things first.
And we also pray for peace.
Well,
a bit more peace and stability in the world.
I did not expect us to start with an important message like that, John, but
Exactly.
thank you for that. More peace in the world.
Peace and love.
Was the big man, was the man in red, was he good to you, Santa Claus?
Yeah, he was actually. I got a little bit of present.
Any of the new gowns?
No. I got a little nice present from my kids. You know, no, it was nice.
Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Ferrari.
No.
Not that good of a year then if they're not giving you that.
It's an amazing year as long as we are happy. Family. Everyone is happy, healthy. That's the most important gift you get.
Well, looking back on 2024, I was thinking, heading into this podcast, 2024 for you, John, has become an incredible year. There's 3 reasons for that. Well, 2 good reasons, 1 not so good reason. You've become bosom buddies with Richard Keys and Andy Gray. So that's a great reason to be cheerful.
The 2 OGs.
You've become pen pals with Paul Winstanley. More on that in a couple of minutes. I guess the bad news is you are public enemy number 1 in Senegal. And we all know the reasons for that as well.
Of course I am. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's
been a good year.
It's been a good year, but it's a good year as well, whereby we've. I know you mentioned Senegal there, but it's just.
I say that in jest, John.
Exactly, it's for a good reason. Helping a guy who we think has a lot of potential and help him bring out that potential. Maximize his potential and get to where he should be. And I'm pleased and I'm happy that he's starting to get there. So hopefully we see him much, much better in 2025.
I said pen pals with Paul Winstanley. The reason I say that is we've been coming in for a lot of stick over the last week. The assumption or the accusation being that we're now on the payroll of Bedad Igbali and Todd Bowley. That's not the case.
No, that's not the case. Definitely not. No, that's not the case.
Unless you are and I don't know about it, John.
No. Listen, mate, that's not the case. We are here to obviously speak the truth, and this is what this podcast is about. Since we've started, we've always speak the truth. We've always said what needs to be said. And if the team is not doing well, I always say it. If the team is not performing well, I'll always say it. If I feel there's somewhere we need to improve, I'll be the first to say it. And they acknowledge that. The club, they acknowledge that. Paul, we met him, and he said, "I'm friends with you today." And you asked him why. He said, the only when you're nice to us in the podcast.
Exactly.
So they are watching, they are listening. But we always have to set the record straight. We always have to be honest. We always have to say what needs to be said. If we have to have places where we think the team needs to improve or something that needs to be said, trust me, I'm always going to be the first to say it.
A couple of things that we talked about in our last episode after the Brentford win.
Yeah.
You talked about the fact, and I'm quoting you here, John, the project is working. In that same episode, we talked about the need to be robust, to be good over the festive period. That is when you're tested physically, mentally. You've got to come through the Christmas period to set yourselves up for potentially a title run in the new year. It's not been a good Christmas period, not been a good festive period. Just 1 win from 9 points. Of course, the draw with Everton, 0-0 at Goodison Park, 2-1 defeat to Fulham, and then that 2-0 defeat away at Ipswich. So let's unpack it a little bit.
Yeah.
You still believe that it is very much a project that is on the right track?
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're not deviating
definitely.
from that.
No, I still believe that. Listen, if anyone told us, that we're going to be in a situation where we are come the end of the year where we are right now,
Fourth,
I'll take it straight away when the season started. So yes, we're on the right track. We're on the right track. We just have to keep going. We all know that, period like this will come during the season whereby, difficulties will happen. And it's about how do we get ourselves up? How do we dust ourselves up and go again? The project, I believe, is still there. It's still working. We're doing the right things. We're playing well. Yes, we're not scoring goals. We haven't won the last 3. But again, it comes down to again, what the conversation of getting another striker, of getting somebody that can help, somebody that can improve the squad, somebody that can be there when Nicholas is not scoring, that the second striker takes on that responsibility, comes in and gets us goals and wins us game. That was my argument. That was my conversation. And yes, now that he's going through a little patch, we need somebody else to come in and step in and get us goals and win us games. Because we don't expect him to keep doing it all throughout the year. So for me, I think the project is still working. We're on the right track. We just need to find a way now to get ourselves up, dust ourselves up, and go again. One point in 9 is not good. It's not good enough.
It's not.
It's not good enough, especially if you want to call yourself title contenders. I know we haven't said that publicly. The manager hasn't said that publicly. The players hasn't said that publicly. But yes, let's not kid ourselves here. We are in that race. We are in that race. And we have to believe that. We have to believe we're in that race. I spoke about it during December. I said, this is a period whereby players, teams, they think it's a holiday. It's not a fucking holiday. It's a time where teams, experienced players, experienced teams that know how to win the league, that has been there, done it, they know this is the period whereby players, teams, they relax. They think it's a holiday. It's Christmas. We're going to have a drink. We're going to have, they think, I shouldn't be playing football during Christmas. I should be spending time with my family, they feel, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't really be on the pitch.
Some players struggle with it.
Some players struggle with it. You know what I mean? But this is the time whereby teams, players, when you look at Liverpool, they know exactly how to win the league. Yeah. And they've gone out there, December period, they've won all their games. They are now the title. I think for me, Liverpool is theirs to lose. It's theirs to lose. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. No doubt. The way they're playing, the way they play with so much intensity, they know exactly what they're doing. For me, Liverpool are the team to beat. Is their title to lose?
I think the most disappointing aspect, and listen, I don't want to be too harsh on Chelsea. I'm not going to criticise them on this podcast right now with what I'm about to say, because it is still very much a work in progress. Yes, okay, a lot of money's been lavished on this Chelsea squad, but it's going to take time. We all talked about the fact the average age of the squad is one of the youngest squads in the Premier League. But 0-0 at Everton, and okay, Everton, Sean Dyche, a stuffy team to play against. A little bit of a disappointment there. To lead at home to Fulham, miss the chances that you guys did, to then lose that game, bitterly disappointing. And then listen, Kieran McKenna's done a great job at Ipswich.
He's done that, yeah.
But come on, go to Ipswich, be professional. And Enzo made a couple of changes. Christopher Nkunku came in for Nicholas Jackson. João Felix started wide on the left-hand side. Noni Madueke brought back in as well. This little love-hate relationship between Noni and Enzo, which is a little bit, John, and I'll ask you about this. Is that becoming a little bit of, dare I say, a kind of nuisance? Is that becoming a little bit of an issue whereby that needs to be put to bed?
That needs to be put to bed.
Noni needs to understand what's been asked of him because it's becoming a bit of a sideshow now.
He is. He needs to understand that. Like you said, we made a few changes. And I listened to the manager after the game. He spoke about playing 9 games in December, he said. But a couple of them were Conference League. In Conference League, we don't play with the first team. We play with probably like the whole
team changed.
The whole team is changed. So for me, it's not a question of fatigue. It's not a question of physical fatigue or anything. It's just that we've sort of lost our way a little bit in December. I'll probably say that, the performance is a little bit lethargic. There's no intensity. But again, it comes down to what I spoke about. It's December period. And this is the period whereby players think it's a holiday. It's not a fucking holiday. It's a period where you need to pick up points because those points are going to count come the end of the season. And if you think it's time to eat turkey, time to have red wine, time to have champagne, time to do this, do that. No, it's not. We knew that back in the day. We knew that Christmas period for us is a business period time. It's not a holiday time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think it's been a very, very, it's been like a holiday period for us this December. But I hope that we can pick ourselves back up again in 2025, in the new year, and we have to go again. Of course, the manager made changes, kept Jackson on the bench, and Noni Madueke as well, like you said. He needs to get his act together. He needs to start, he needs to start performing again. I don't know what's going on, but I think that issue needs to be put to bed. Both need to find a way to sort it out because it's becoming an issue. It's becoming a problem now for the manager, for the team as well, because he's a fantastic player, Madueke. The more we get him to start playing, the more we get him to start playing well, I think there's a good player there, but the manager is trying to get the best out of him. I understand that. But again, we don't want to make it a problem. It's becoming a problem for the team, for the player. So we need to find a way to sort that out. And I believe that with Maresca and the way he's dealing with his players, he's going to find a way to deal with that.
You were a young player at Chelsea once, John. I look not just at Chelsea Football Club, I look across not just the Premier League, I look across all kind of major leagues. Young players, it's finding that consistency.
It is.
You're waiting for that penny to drop where you start to perform week in, week out. Noni Madueke hasn't done it. It's been in fits and bursts. Jadon Sancho.
He started the season well, though. Let's not forget that. He started the season well, yeah.
But it's fits and bursts. It's one good game, couple of quiet games.
Exactly, yeah.
Jadon Sancho. I could throw Marcus Rashford into that as well. And he's not even a young man now at 27. He's 27, for goodness sake. But it's finding that consistency for young men where you're like, guys, we're paying you handsomely. You're at big football clubs. You need to start turning it on more than just once every handful of games.
It is finding that consistency, like you've said.
And what's the key to that? Because you were there.
Listen, it's tough when you have friends, family, people yapping in your ears, telling you this, you that, you score one goal this weekend, and they tell you, oh, you are now the Ronaldo, the king of the world. Because that's why you have those friends, to big you up. But you need to have those friends to tell you, listen, mate,
it's one game.
It's just one game. You need to keep going. That's nothing. You've just got one goal in the weekend. You need to keep going. Sometimes you need those players who are going to tell you the truth, who's going to be there and tell you, listen, mate, you have to keep going. You can't relax here. It's about having the right people around you. It's about having the right. Sometimes those friends will help you get through the difficult period. And Noni needs that right now. I don't know who his friends are like, but he needs that. You can tell he needs people around who's going to tell him, listen, you have to kick on again. Yes, you started the season really well, but the season is not yet over. So you need to kick on again. You need to find your form again. You need to start performing well again. So for me, he definitely needs to, because we do need him. We do need him. And of course, Nkunku came in, but he just couldn't find his rhythm in the game. Listen, we played well. The first half, I thought we played really well. Second half, it was so-so, but then we considered the second goal, which kind of killed the game. So for me, it's a rough patch. We need to find a way to get back to, how we're playing, winning games, playing with so much intensity. You know what I mean? I think we've lost that a little bit this December period. But listen, it does happen. I spoke about it before the start of December. I said this might happen. And now we've seen it happen.
One goal in those 3 games as well. Goalless against Everton, goalless against Ipswich. Slight worry there. Yeah. With 1 point from 9. Next 4 in the league in January. You're away to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Home to Bournemouth. Home to Wolves. Away to Manchester City. That are 4 games. And again,
difficult period.
10 points behind Liverpool. Liverpool have got a game in hand. Let's say it now.
It's not done.
Well, I'm going to say it.
It's not done.
Chelsea ain't winning the Premier League title.
What do you mean?
You're not winning the Premier League title. John, I'll say it. What is it, January 1st? You ain't winning the Premier League title. Not this season. I think you're on the right track.
No, not this season.
But you ain't winning it.
No, not this season. I don't think we're winning the Premier League this season, really. I think we're still way behind. I'm not going to say we're miles away. No, we're not. But I think we're still far behind. And
it's the growth.
We're still growing. It's a working process. And I can see that the process is working. The project is working. And I believe that in a couple of years, yes, we might start talking about winning the Premier League, but not this season, no. I think Liverpool are playing way much better. The way they're playing, they look like they know. Because, listen, when you have players who've been there, done it, it's an advantage already.
Of course it is.
When you look at Van Dijk, when I look at Salah, the intensity that they bring, knowing that this is the crunch part of the season, especially what I talked about, December period, where teams are going to, a little relaxation and think it's a holiday. No, Liverpool has stepped it up a bit. You know what I mean? They've gone out there, they've done the business, they've won the games, and now they're 10 points ahead. How many points are they?
They're 10 points ahead of you.
6 points ahead of Arsenal or something like that?
What is it? It's 9 ahead of Arsenal. They've both got a game in hand.
Yeah.
And then they're ahead of Nottingham Forest by, what is it, 7 points.
So when you've been there, done it, unfortunately, we don't have any player in our team that's been there, done it. So listen, it's a massive, massive advantage for Liverpool. But with us, I think the more the season goes, I think the experience is going to come there to the team. The players are going to be more experienced. And I think in a couple of years, yes, we'll be talking about winning the league, but not this year.
A lot of Chelsea fans on our social medias, whether it be X, whether it be Instagram, on our YouTube as well, saying, 1 January, transfer window, of course, opens. It's not going to be long-term
We don't need
fixes.
any more players, do we?
No.
We need a striker.
You need a striker. You've said on this podcast.
I've said it so many times.
Goalkeeper still worries you slightly as well.
The goalkeeper,
and there's a bigger conversation. Reece James continues to break down. Malo Gusto, I'm a fan. He's peaks and troughs.
I like Malo Gusto though. I think for me, he's missed the consistency a little bit like Azpilicueta, isn't he? But I have no idea why the manager sometimes drops him and plays Disasi there. But I like Gusto though. Yes, but like you said, listen, the captain of the club, I've said it so many times. I love Reece James. I think he's a fantastic player. We all know that he's a fantastic player. Absolutely fantastic player. He needs to be fit. He needs to get himself fit. I have no idea what the issue is, but the gentleman, he can't get himself fit. He can't stay fit. So for me, that's a worry. That's a massive worry.
Did you just call him a gentleman? I love that. Look at you on this pod today. You're being incredibly respectful, John.
Well, listen.
It's true, though.
It's a new year, mate.
It is. A new and improved John. Yeah. But it is true.
It is true. He needs to stay fit. And the club needs to... Listen, I'm not saying get rid of Reece, but we need to find a way to keep him fit. We need to keep him fit. He's the captain of the football club. He needs to stay fit. And if he's fit, listen, he's an absolutely machine of a player. So we need to find a way to keep him fit. And we need to go again. But yes, do you want to go out again and start buying new players in January, bringing in players in January that we don't actually need? I've said it before. Yes, we do need a striker. We need a striker
to help
Nicholas Jackson. We need a top striker to come in and help Nicholas Jackson. I don't care if he's scoring week in, week out. He still needs somebody to come and help him.
Yeah.
A healthy competition is never bad.
That's not coming in January.
It's never a bad idea. So for me, I don't think that's going to come in January, maybe in the summer. But yes, he does need a helping hand. So we do need a striker. And yes, the goalkeeper issue is still an issue that needs to be resolved. And I don't think we're going to get one as well this January. Maybe in the summer. I'm sure Enzo Maresca knows that. The club knows that. It's not going to happen this January, but I think in the summer, yes. We might see the club go out and get a striker and another goalkeeper.
So January, you're not expecting much.
I think we're going to be quiet. I think we have a good squad to get us to top 4. If we get to the top 4, if we finish the season in the top 4,
success.
It's success. Then we can build from there. Then next season we go out, we get another striker, we get a goalkeeper, we get maybe another midfield player that, when Enzo is not having a good a good period, then another midfielder might come in to help, and probably another defender. Listen, I'm sure the club knows exactly what to do. Speaking with the club, I'm sure they know exactly what to do. They know they're heading in the right direction, and they know the players they want to get in and the players they want to get out.
I want to talk a little bit, if I can, moving the conversation away from Chelsea for the next little bit. Manchester United, John.
Oh, my God.
Because, again, you talk about hunger strike. I'm on grooming strike. This beard is lost all control, and I refuse to do anything about it until Man United start winning football matches again. But Ruben Amorim's come in. We are both of the opinion that Erik ten Hag was a dead man walking. Yeah. It's got worse. It's got a lot worse. 6 defeats in 11. It's now 5 defeats in their last 6.
You're fighting relegation now, mate.
They are. 7 points ahead of Ipswich in 18th. They're 13 points behind you boys in 4th.
Yeah.
So whichever way you slice this, Manchester United are in a relegation battle.
They are. Yeah.
It's Liverpool up next at Anfield.
Yeah.
A place where I was there for the 7-0, watching through the cracks of my fingers. Worst afternoon of my life.
Yeah.
They are heading only one way. You go through the starting 11, John. And I know you've talked about Chelsea's problems and, you want this, you want that.
Yeah.
But at least Chelsea have a bunch of footballers where you think, yes, Caicedo, yes, Palmer, yes, Colwell, yes,
you
Jackson.
Don't have
that. None of that.
You don't have that.
None of that.
Did you just mention Jackson?
I mentioned Jackson. Throwing him a bone. It's a new year. It's a fresh start. Kobe Mainoo running through cement. He looks the drop off in him has been exponential.
Yeah.
Yoro, I feel sorry for. I think there's an exciting young defender there who's just...
There is, yeah.
He's walked into a shitstorm.
Yeah, listen. It's awful.
It's awful.
It's awful what's going on at United.
Xerxes hooked.
It's even if you're not a United fan, it's awful to watch.
Oh, they're horrendous.
I watched the game yesterday. Newcastle would have been 3-0 up in 20 minutes or 4-0 up in 20 minutes. It was a disaster. It was a disaster to watch. Listen, it's nowhere near. It's not the manager's fault at all. Ruben Amorim is a fantastic manager. He's a brilliant young manager. I've said it when he came into the football club. The players in Manchester United, they are nowhere near good enough to be playing for Manchester United or to be competing anywhere, top 4 or the Premier League.
Top 8.
I was watching it yesterday. I mean, you're talking from Maguire, De Ligt, Casemiro, Eriksen. It was awful to watch.
Let me ask you this.
It was awful to watch. I mean, there was no legs in that team.
Well, that's what...
Nobody could run.
Nope.
And how could you... The only mistake Amorim. How can you play Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield together?
Well, this is it. You've said there he's not to blame. But, and I'm like you, I think he deserves time.
He deserves time, yeah.
But I'm still questioning that.
Yes. There's no way, and I hope this never happens again, that you see Casemiro and Eriksen play in the midfield for Manchester United. Who's going to run for who? If you're a 30-something years old midfield player or a player, 30-something, you need a younger player beside you who can compensate because you don't have the legs anymore to run anymore. You need that young player, fresh legs, young, energetic, who can be able to cover those grounds for you.
Dynamic.
You have those two. Who's going to help who? Who's going to run for who? So for me, it's a massive, massive mistake. It's awful to watch. Listen, brilliant players. I've talked about it. We've said it. We've all said it. Casemiro, fantastic player. Yeah. He's played for Real Madrid. He's won so much. He's been an absolutely fantastic servant of football. He's done everything. When your legs are gone, your legs are gone. There's nothing else you can do. If your legs are gone, especially in the Premier League, you will get found out. The Premier League is the most difficult league, fast-paced, dynamic, everything. It will give you it will throw everything at you. So if you're not young enough, if you're not quick enough, if you're not mobile enough, if you're not energetic enough to cope with the Premier League, you're going to get found. And that's what's keep happening with Casemiro. We've said it. Yes, if he comes in and have one good game, it doesn't mean that he's changed. No, he's still the same player. All due respect to Casemiro, I love the guy. He's played for Real Madrid. He's won everything the game needs to be won. His legs are gone. Manchester United needs to get another... Yes, they've got to Ngon Ugarte, but I don't know what's happened to him. For me, again, he's not a Manchester United player. Manchester United right now cannot go out and get a top player that will want to come to Manchester United. No. It doesn't happen. Oh. The players that Manchester United get is the players that are want away from top players, from top clubs. Ugarte, want away from Paris Saint-Germain.
Yes.
De Ligt, want away from Bayern Munich. Mazraoui, want away from Bayern Munich.
They didn't want them.
They didn't want them. And those are the players that Manchester United have gone out and get.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a massive issue. It's a fucking... Mess what's going on at the football club. From top to bottom, it was absolutely mess.
You said it there, John. It is a fucking mess. Therefore, the question, do Man United get relegated?
No, I don't think so. But listen, mate, if they keep going the way they're going, there's a big chance of that happening. But I don't see Manchester United. There's a big chance of that happening because you look at it now, how can Manchester United win a football game? I don't see it happening. Yeah, you just mentioned it now. They've got who? Liverpool next. And it doesn't get easier. In the Premier League, you can't say, oh, this team is going to be easy. We've seen it. Ipswich, we were beaten by Ipswich last night.
Fulham.
2-0, beaten by Fulham, 2-1. So there is no easy games right now where you're going to look at Manchester United and say, okay, these are the games where they're going to pick up points. These are the games where they're going to pick up 3 points. No, not in the Premier League anymore. As we find out, the Premier League is the most difficult league. 1 week that you slip up, you find yourself in a total different position in the table. And that's what's happened to Chelsea. Yeah. That's what happened to us. Yes, we were second in the league, we're flying. What's happened? 3 games, no win, and we find ourselves now 4th in the league. If we don't step up again and start playing the way we've been playing, which is winning games, playing with intensity, and everybody knowing exactly what to do, we find ourselves in a different position altogether, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's not where Chelsea Football Club needs to be. So whatever's happened that we've slipped up, Thank God Christmas is over. Christmas is over. So there's no more turkey, there's no more red wine, there's no more champagne. We need to get back to business. The players need to get back to business and fucking get their head right and go again. Next season, 2025, we need to start with a win. We need to go back to basics. We need to go back to whatever we're doing that's been working, playing with intensity, everybody working their ass off when we don't have the ball, which is what Maresca wants. We need to get back to those bases. 2025, we need to start winning games. So for us to be able to finish in the top 4, and that's where we need to finish. So whatever's happened, Christmas is over. We need to get back to winning ways again.
We talk a lot about New Year's resolutions, etc. Is that a message that's communicated to the players? When you play, John, would the players get together? Would coaching staff on New Year's Eve, on New Year's Day say, right, lads, it's a brand new year. These are the standards. It's a fresh start. It's a clean slate.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of conversation that do take place
Of
around
course,
this time
of course
of year?
he does. The manager always comes in and says that, wishes everybody a new year, but says, listen, whatever's happened in the year before is past, is gone. This is a fresh start for everybody, for every player. You need to come out during training, during practice. You need to show me you want to be on that pitch come the weekend. You need to perform well. You need to do what I ask you to do. This is a fresh start. Whatever's happened is bygone. Let's move forward. And I think that's the message. That's the conversation that Maresca is going to have with the team. So we need to get back to, again, winning ways and make sure 2025, we start 2025 in the right manner, which is winning games and getting back to where we were before. And listen, it's a little patch. We've gone through it. Let's not make it a City patch, which is going 9-10 without a win. So we need to find a way of getting back to the way where we've been playing before, which is winning games.
City, you touched on them there. Second win in 14, 2-0 win at Leicester. You look at them in the table, they're 6th. They're only 4 points behind you boys in 4th.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it.
Everybody's been saying how bad the season is, though. It's been just 4 points behind us.
They're not going to win the league, though.
They're not going to win the league. They're not going to win the league. Listen, I still feel Pep still thinks they're going to win the league, but there's no chance that happening. If they have Rodri in that team,
you would still bet.
I'll still bet. I'll still go 90. I'll still go 90% that they might win the league. But right now, they're far off it. There's no chance City are going to win the league. I don't see City going 10, 15 games like they've always done every previous years of going on that run whereby they go during March or whatever it is, February, they go 10, 15 games unbeaten and win all those games. So I don't see City doing that. They're miles off it right now. So for me, I don't see them doing that. If they have Rodri in this team again right now, I'm telling you, I still favor City to win the league. But without Rodri, I've mentioned him. He's the most important player for Manchester United. He's the most important player for me in any team in the Premier League. In any team the Premier League.
You said Man United there. You mean City. I wish Man United had. I'd take an injured Rodri.
You take an injured, I'm telling you.
Over
you can take him. Yeah, exactly. An injured Rodri is better than your midfield.
Yeah, no doubt.
What he does for that City side, we can all see it now. It's pretty clear. The way he breaks up plays, everything goes through him. The little passes he plays, getting the passes, the ball from the defenders, receiving the ball, the way he turns, the way he attacks. Sometimes if the game is not going well for City, he takes the game on himself and just pushes the team. And we don't see anybody doing it. Yes, Kevin De Bruyne, listen, fantastic player. He's been unlucky with injuries. He's not been fit. But we could see a little bit of Kevin De Bruyne in the last game. He's getting a little bit, he needs to get a bit more sharper. But without Rodri in that Manchester City side, that team is never the same.
It is quite a Premier League table when you consider there's a retro feel to it. Liverpool top, Nottingham Forest second.
Nottingham Forest.
I
can't believe I'm saying that at the start of the season.
Just what a job.
What a job is that?
They are solid.
What a job. 8
clean sheets, more than any other team in the Premier League. Big Chris Wood, the Kiwi Mikel as they call him.
Keep getting better and better, isn't it?
It just...
I saw the goal he scored against Everton. The finish, it just shows you a player who's playing with so much confidence. We know Chris Wood can miss a lot of chances.
Yeah.
But the way he took that goal, just lobbed it over Jordan Pickford. For me, that shows you that is a striker who's playing in his full power, playing with so much confidence. So for me, Forest, wow, what a job Nuno's done there. What a job. And he's brought in a lot of players, though. Let's be fair. Let's be honest. He's brought in a lot of players. He's done a massive change in that.
Great balance.
Yeah, exactly. And what he's created there, the team is playing with so much spirit. so much togetherness. When I watch them play, they're so together. And I think that's something that's pushing them on. They play with so much confidence, so much togetherness, so much spirit in that team. So for me, they look unstoppable. I mean, it's only one way, it's going to go right now. I mean, but, you never know. I don't think it's going to be another Leicester, winning the Premier League. So for me, listen, if they finish, I don't think they're going to finish fourth.
Well, it's interesting you say that because a reminder,
Do you think they're going to finish fourth?
2026 season.
Yeah.
Right now, there is a 97.8% chance that the English Premier League will get a fifth Champions League spot for 25-26. So finishing fifth could still be good enough to secure Champions League football. Now, if we assume Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, I still think City, I still think quality, we'll see them in the top four. I wouldn't rule out Forest finishing fifth.
Yeah, I think if City can get Ruben Diaz back, Edison back, John Stones obviously can play that midfield sometimes.
They still finish top four, John. They do.
I think they still finish top four. City still finish top four.
Forest fifth. Yeah. Champions League.
Potentially. I still see City. Despite all their problems, despite all their injuries, despite everything they've gone through this season, I still see them finishing fourth. I think if they can be able to get, like I said, the injured players back, obviously Rodri is out for the rest of the season. They might strengthen during the transfer window. I expect City to go into the market and get one or two in. I think they might be stronger in the new year. I think City might come back stronger in the new year. Listen, it's hard. It's tough to watch City struggle the way they're struggling, even if you're not a City fan, because of how much they've won, the success they've had over these years. It's hard to watch them go through what they're going right now.
The only thing I'm celebrating right now, John, Liverpool top, United shit. The only thing I'm celebrating is the fact that City are not winning football matches. It's the only thing I've got going for me right now, for goodness sake, John.
Listen, but you can talk about it. I mean, to see a manager who's come into the Premier League and who's changed the way football is being played. Not just in the Premier League, I think all around the world. Everybody wants to play a
Is there a better product for it? I don't know, John.
Has he killed the game or has he helped the game? Listen, whichever way you look at it, but everybody's trying to play like Pep. So you might say, okay, has Pep killed the game or what? I'm not one of those who say, yes, Pep has killed the game. He's killed the game. No, I don't believe that. That's a Pep way. It's your decision if you want to play the Pep way. He's not come in and forced everybody to say, listen, you have to play my way. If you think you don't like it and it's killing the game, why do you copy it? Why do you want to play a Pep way? That's his way. He's been successful with it, and that's the way he wants to play the game. So for me, it's difficult also to see him go through what he's going right now. We've seen him with a cart on his head, a cart on his nose, and everything like that. And one thing I want to talk about as well is the mental health of what he's going through right now. You know what I mean? It must be tough for him because he came out after that and he said, listen, I want to hurt myself. I feel like I want to hurt myself. If somebody else, if he's in a different walk of life, that is not acceptable.
No, it's not.
It's not acceptable.
And it shouldn't be acceptable.
It shouldn't be acceptable. You know what I mean? That's where people, managers, players can speak out and get help. You know what I mean? He needs help. Clearly, this is a guy who lives and breathes football.
I think there's a lot of people in football. It doesn't help podcasts like us, John, and we try to be constructive.
Yeah.
At least I think we do. Try and be constructive. But there's a lot of footballers. I mean, look at that Man United squad right now. Week in, week out, are being hammered on social media.
Hammered.
I know. And listen, they're paid handsomely.
Yeah.
I know some watching or listening to this will say, hold on a sec, guys. They're paid handsomely to play football. That's part and parcel of the industry that they're in. They're still human beings. At the end of the day.
It is. I think in our generation, back in it, I'm talking like I retired 20 years ago. No, I retired like 5-6 years ago. I left Chelsea. Like, we were strong enough to deal with these things. I don't think this generation is strong enough to deal with it. And that's why I think they need help. We back in the day, there was a little bit of Instagram, let's say. There was social media where you can voice your opinion. But we didn't have that really. So whatever was said against us or towards us, we have to go home and live with it and just deal with it on our own, lock ourselves in the room and deal with it because there is actually really nobody to talk to. But right now, these guys, they have so many people to talk to. They have psychologists. They have this person to talk to. So for me, I don't think they are strong enough to deal with it. And again, what Pep is going through with what he's the way he sees the game, the way he deals with the game, the way he lives and breathes the game. We have to look into it. This is a manager who's coming in and say, I want to hurt myself. For me, that's not acceptable. And that's where a manager or a player should speak to somebody and get help.
No doubt about that. And fingers crossed, Pepe's, as you say, he just sees the game very, very differently. I've spent a bit of time with him. I know you have as well. He is an intense man.
Intense.
Intense.
Somebody like that sees that things are not going his way. Imagine. He's come out and say, I don't sleep anymore.
Yeah.
I wake up during the night, I'm thinking, how am I going to change the situation?
He's not alone. Ruben Amorim.
He's not alone. I know every manager goes through that. But not when somebody comes out and says, I want to hurt myself. Well, for me, that was it. That was the tipping point. When he come, I know every manager goes through it. Manager go through it. People go through it.
But the cuts on the head and the face.
People go through it at work. At different walks of life, people go through this. But in every different walk of life as well, when you come into work looking like that, and your boss asks you, what's happening? And you say, oh, sorry, boss, because I'm so intense with my work. I'm trying to find a solution. He'll ask you to go home to find help.
You're right.
And that's what I'm talking about. That, yes, a lot of people go through it, but what he's going through and saying he wants to hurt himself, and I know he came out the next day and said, oh, I was only joking. That's not a joke. That is not a joke. Somebody has said to him, no, you need to go out, back out there and correct that. Exactly. Yeah, so for me, this is where mental health comes in. Players and managers need help.
John, just want to say what a year it's been.
What a year it's been. Let's keep
Thank you to you.
Upwards and upwards, mate.
Onwards and upwards. 2025 is going to be a cracking year, no doubt about it. We've got more big name guests planned. And a big thanks to anyone who's listened, anyone who's watched, anyone who's commented, whether it be good or bad. We welcome it all. It's been a cracking journey, and we've got some big name guests and an awful lot more to discuss on the Obi-Wan podcast and taking the Mikel 2025. So from myself, Chris McHardy, John Obi Mikel, Happy New Year. Very best wishes for you in 2025.
Happy New Year, guys.